One thing that I found really surprising is really how close of a community everyone is, and how the school number-wise seems very small, but everyone is so close to, everyone is such a close family when you're there. But there's just so many options that everyone has their own kind of niche, which is also very nice.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
I really enjoyed the activities, especially being in residence. Every weekend it seemed like there was a new activity that they were putting on, whether it be at the school or Butchart Gardens, going down to Victoria. I always tried to do something each weekend, which is something that I took with me to my university as well, where it's like, just get into everything you see that you might be interested in, because you never know what you're going to find or who you're going to talk to and all of those sorts of things. They really are there to support you. All the staff, whether it be at the barn, in the school, they really are there to bring your true colors out and try to get you to do the best, to be the best you can be, is kind of the best way I can explain that. Yeah, I don't know, they're just it's very community based, and they want the best for you, I guess is some of that. When I was looking at the other schools, because we did visit, I was on the basketball team, so we did go to a few of the other private schools in the area, and I noticed that they were very separate. I felt like the groups were all separate, whereas at QMS there was a lot of, with it being an international school, it was great to see everybody trying to show their cultures little bits and sharing everyone's ideas and stuff, because different countries have different opinions on whatever matter it might be. So it was just a great way to see everyone's opinion on something. That's what I think sets it apart from other schools. Yeah, everyone's just kind of, it doesn't feel like everybody is rushing to different places. And I found my schedule was pretty busy, especially because I tried putting myself into all different sorts of activities, after school clubs, all those sorts of things. But you really felt laid back, and you just kind of went with the flow of everything, which was really nice. And I like that a lot. Yeah, like I never seemed to feel stressed out. But I guess, well, being from Ontario, everyone's running around everywhere. And you don't realize, there I just felt like I had a weight lifted off my shoulders, kind of, a little bit more than other places. And also I think that having a busier schedule just kind of, at least for me personally, it just kept me on task with other things, because I was like, oh, I need to make sure I get my homework done at this time, but I want to have my riding lesson, I want to have fun with my friends on the weekends. So it was a lot, but it flowed nicely. There wasn't very many hiccups, I guess, within the schedules. I do think, depending on what year you're born, you kind of act a little differently compared to others. So I know my year, we were very kind of just went with the flow of things. And then the 2 years after us, it was very competitive, but everyone just fit into their little bits, and they were able to go to whichever clubs would make them feel more relaxed, like yoga clubs. If they really liked their maths and sciences, all the classes were there for them as well. So everyone can pick their unique path. There's a lot of different options available at the school for sure. Yeah, so I highly recommend students being open to new experiences. I mean, moving from Ontario to BC was a whole new experience and was rough at the time, but once you get there and realize that, just being open and making sure that you're trying everything, and that continues going on after high school, is just getting involved in things and seeing what you like, because you might go into it thinking you might like it and absolutely despise it, but you won't know unless you try it, right? So I remember them talking about legacy a lot, and just which to me at the time didn't really mean anything. But as I look back on it, legacy is everywhere you go. My friends and I, we left a stone there that is, I'm hoping it's still there when I get back. I'm sure it will be, but and just being, again, I think openness is a really big thing that I learned there, and being open to who you meet, being open to people's opinions. I would say that legacy and openness are very big traits that QMS has, that they talk about a lot there. There's so many things. The one thing that I found really surprising is really how close of a community everyone is, and how the school number-wise seems very small, but it almost feels big in a way. But that sounds kind of weird. But everyone is so close to, everyone is such a close family when you're there. But there's just so many options that everyone has their own kind of niche, which is also very nice. So then you can come in and discuss, again, discussing all of your different opinions on things. And I think that that's really special to have. Yes, most definitely. Again, I was a really shy person who wouldn't say boo kind of thing. But yeah, being there and being able to open up and express who I am without my family being right beside me, it was nice to do that a year before I went to university, instead of going to university and then all of that happening. It was nice to have, I was only there for grade 12. I kind of wish I was there for 11 and 12. And I've said this to other people who I've met before. But yeah, it was just a nice way to take yourself away from family but be immersed in another pretty kind of, but yeah. When I was there, so if I think about me in grade 12 at that moment, I would have changed so my parents are very just kind of do what you want to do, and if you deal with the consequences of whatever it might be. But then when I went there and being in residence, you get, I just felt very like someone was always watching over me, and it was almost too overbearing, I guess. Just for me personally, I don't know how anybody else felt, but for me, I was pretty much like free as a leaf. I could do whatever I want. And then when I went there, it was just a lot on me, and you had to sign out and all these things. It was just a new area for me, and I just wasn't too sure. But now looking back on it from today's point of view, I'm like, yeah, no, that's good, because your parents know you're safe. They know where you are always. If they give a phone call, the house mom say, oh yeah, she's in this, whatever, going to an appointment or whatever it might be. So yeah, I think looking at it now, I think it's a good thing. At the time, I was a little iffy on the whole matter, but we worked it out and it was good. When I was there, I appreciated the horses, because especially the first couple of months being away from home, it was a little challenging, to say the least. And I actually did want to leave at that point. I didn't even want to stay after that first month. But I think the real reason I stayed is because of the horses, and I was able to go there, and they were my friends for that first little bit. I had other friends, but they were just somebody you can talk to about whatever you wanted to. But yeah, I think the horses, I know animals are a big part of my life, but just knowing that they were there, and that has been something that I've really appreciated over, like, looking back on it now, that was something that was amazing to have for sure. I would say anybody who thinks that they need to be not separated from their parents, that's a bad way of putting it. Somebody who kind of just needs to have their own independence, and they might not know it at the time, but I do think that parents know their kids best. So knowing that they need to have a little bit of space is a good thing. Honestly, anybody who likes the equestrian world, even if you're not riding, just having them around is an awesome thing. And I do believe that horses help people grow a lot in and of itself. Yeah. Oh, and community. All of just being an international school in general, I think it's really great for somebody who might not come from a place that has a lot of diversity. Going to a school with diversity makes you learn a lot about the different parts of the world, and it's just a good skill that everybody should have, or a good bit of knowledge that everyone should have, is the different traditions and those sorts of things within different nationalities. Yeah, you know that your kid will always be safe there, because there is so much to do with in the like on school property in general, but as well as on the weekends, and there's always like parent volunteers and everybody who's there for there. Yeah, so that first bit of walking in is a little terrifying, not gonna lie. There's a lot of people. You usually, at least when I was there, you go into the gym and there's booths everywhere, and they tell you a little bit about each department, which is excellent, and it's great information, and it's a little overwhelming, but be open. That's my biggest thing, is be open, find what you like, and stick with it, because it's really amazing.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.